Let me get my vocal cords together. Century 3 Chevrolet Lebanon Church from Pittsburgh, minutes from the mall. Welcome to Boys in the Burgh, the podcast all about Pittsburgh, these boys, and today about the shopping malls, mall mayhem. That's what we're talking about today. And we got one more song. My name's Chris.
My name's Jay.
Let's go to the mall. You won't be sorry.
This is happening, guys.
Yep. For people who've seen How I Met Your Mother, that is the Let's Go to the Mall by Robin Sparkles, of course. But I had this idea of mall mayhem. And out of everything that we have talked about, the thing that has sparked this the most for why I want to talk about it is because a temporary Disney store of all places is kind of being brought into the Ross Park Mall. And I'm like, we haven't talked about malls ever. So this is our chance.
It's true. And we have a lot of malls in Pittsburgh. We had a lot, and we still have a lot. So I'm excited to dive into the history of malls and what we have open now. But that's so exciting that Disney Store is doing something at Ross Park.
To give everyone kind of like a backstory real quick, back during the pandemic, 2021 or so, all the Disney stores, except for like a select handful, got shut down. There's one in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. JJ, we visit one in Myrtle Beach in the Tanger outlets. There's only a select few. And I guess for some reason, they want to bring back a Disney store that's temporary, but they won't tell us how long it's open. But it's not run by Disney. It's run by the OK Company, where you see all the calendars in their stores.
Is this going to be like the, what's that sandwich from McDonald's? The McRib of stores?
It will be the McRib of stores. And actually, a really funny thing, back in the days when the Disney store was open like 10, 15 years ago, it was actually owned by the Children's Place.
Oh, that makes sense. That definitely makes sense. I remember seeing like that logo whenever we used to go to those stores as kids.
Yep, it was the Children's Place and then owned by Disney. And then Disney said, kill them. And then now it's owned by, I want to say it's called the OK Company, something like that. But if you go and you see a calendar store or anything like that in the malls, they own that. So interesting stuff. And that's going into Ross Park Mall. And what do you consider the Pittsburgh malls? Like, can you rattle some off the top of your head?
Will I? Can I? Yeah.
Jay.
That's me. When Katie and I lived in Allison Park, that was our mall. Like, because you could either go up to Butler or go to Pittsburgh, but Ross Park Mall is North Pittsburgh. It's a really, really awesome mall. It's like it's got a lot of really expensive stores, we'll say, but where Ross Park is, if you go up the street a little bit to the left, there is another place called, I think it's the North. Oh gosh, I lost it on my notes. But there's another mall up there too.
South Hills?
No, South Hills is on the other side of Pittsburgh.
Oh,
that's on the south of Pittsburgh.
Oh, and this is on the Ross of Pittsburgh. That's right.
Yeah, this is all North Pittsburgh. Come on, man. Shoot. The Block Northway. So I actually got to go to the Block Northway for my 30th birthday. I went there to the Dave and Buster's. You couldn't come because you were living in Indianapolis at the time, but went there for my 30th birthday. We did an event with the pediatric office I was working at there. So those two malls kind of run that side of things until you hit Cranberry, where it's nothing but strip malls.
That's true. Some of the malls that I kind of like consider in the Pittsburgh area is like Ross Park Mall, South Hills Village. I'm just going to say the dead ones anyways. Century 3, even though it's literally 75, 80% gone. There is, Pittsburgh Mills, which is next to go on the list. Monroeville Mall. And just because we live in this side of Pittsburgh, I live in this side of Pittsburgh, Westmoreland Mall. Because technically they call it Live Casino Pittsburgh, not Live Casino Greensburg.
Is it the brand Live Casino?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They call it Live Casino, and then they're like, how can we attract people in here? Call it Greensburg? No. How far is Pittsburgh from there? 1 hour. Yes, let's call it Live Casino Pittsburgh.
Is it in the same county? No. I actually have a pretty extensive list of malls that are open now, malls that have changed from malls to strip malls, closed malls, and then outdoor and outlet shopping malls in Pittsburgh.
Ooh, and the waterfront I consider a mall. That too.
Yeah. So waterfront, Waterworks, which is it's like on Freeport Road in Aspinwall, which is like kind of north Pittsburgh, like off the North Shore as you're going toward like um somewhere out there. I can't remember. Like Tarentum area, I guess. Uh there's Grove City Outlets and Tanger Outlets in Washington. So those are two huge outdoor malls too.
Yeah, I forget about like that part of the area. That's another Washington is just like is that part of Pittsburgh? Kinda. It's still an hour out of the way, but still counts, I guess.
I mean, think of all these big places. Like you have Pittsburgh, which is like the main hub, but then everywhere outside of it, Robinson Mall, it's closer, but it's still like a good half an hour, 45 minutes with traffic. South Hills is down in oh man, I keep blanking on South Hills, Upper St. Clair, Bethel Park. So that can be quite the commute too. So it's that's where everyone lives, everywhere around the city.
And I didn't say Mall at Robinson, so I forgot about that too. Um,
Oh yeah.
in my research, one of the things I found was one, Ross Park Mall is the best mall of all of Pittsburgh, owned by the Simon Company. Which actually, the fun fact, when I lived in Indianapolis, the Simon family lives in Carmel, Indiana, and the person that was driving me to work at the time, because my car wasn't working at the time, said, "Here's the fence," and I was like, "Where's the house?" So the Simon family lives in Indianapolis. But Ross Park Mall is incredible. High end luxury, Coach, Louis Vuitton, Apple, like all those places are out there. I would actually, Carissa and I, when it was every year, we would make the pillage out to the Apple store and we would get the newest iPhone.
The
And
pillage? The
the
pilgrimage.
pillage. What?
You said pillage, you mean pilgrimage, right?
Sure. I meant pilgrimage.
Pillage is you showed up and broke the windows and went, "Where's my money?"
No, the pilgrimage. Okay, the pilgrimage. We made the pilgrimage out to Ross Park Mall and we would get the newest iPhone until you realize you could just buy an older edition cheaper online. So that Ross Park Mall, we used to go out there a good amount of times. And the only thing that I would probably say that stinks about it is it's on a very busy road, I'll say.
Yeah, and it is really weird to get to because it's like up a hill and you got to go like three different ways to get there. It's kind of a weird mall in that sense, but it is a really nice one.
It is. And that is where the Disney store is going. And it just made me wonder, just like, why is the temporary Disney store going in there and another mall in New Jersey? Because, like, they have them in California, they have them in, obviously, Orlando, Florida, and like a random one in Lancaster. And I kind of like went into AI. I'm just like, make this make sense to me. And they apparently said it's a, Pittsburgh Ross Park Mall area is a huge market. And if they could take advantage of that, and if you really think about it, that side of it, like the eastern side has New York City. That's really it. And I think Pittsburgh is kind of like that way to branch out into like the Midwest area.
That makes sense. I mean, it has all the highways that go all the way up to Erie and then all the other like cities up that way. It has the ones going down south toward West Virginia. It has the ones going out on 70 out west. It kind of is like a little crossroads city.
Yeah. Enough to pillage up there, right?
Enough to pillage, just showing up like, "Give me your new iPhone, punk," and just breaking down windows.
But Ross Park Mall, I greatly enjoy it. So we'll talk about a good one. What are your notes on Ross Park Mall?
They opened in 1986, which I found pretty interesting. I thought they were going to be older. Most of the malls that you and I know and love were built in the 60s and 70s. So, like, Monroeville Mall was 1969. Westmoreland Mall was 1977. Do you remember Greengate Mall?
Where Walmart is now. I've never been to Greengate Mall, but I do remember. I don't know. That's why they call it Greengate Plaza.
Yes, that is. It closed down and they tore it down in 2003, but it opened in 1965. So we would have very limited memory of that. I think we would usually just go to the Westmoreland Mall at that time.
And also, do you remember their little jingle they had back in the days?
For Greengate?
No, for Westmoreland Mall. It was a
Oh
great
no,
shopping place.
it's a great shopping place.
I
Wow,
tapped something.
that was like a hidden gem in my brain.
Monroeville Mall was just like Monroeville Mall pillage.
You know what you're getting yourself into in Monroeville. Now, Monroeville does have that really cool Dawn of the Dead or of the Dead museum, which I think that's really cool because they shot the one like Day of the Dead. It was one of the we talked about on a podcast a couple months ago, the one horror movie that was filmed in the 70s at the Monroeville Mall about zombies. And it has a museum for it. I
Dawn of the Dead?
think it's Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, that's and it's a real Monroeville Mall is such a confusing place because you have this historical landmark that filmed like a great horror movie, but at the same time, it was a mall kind of being run over by youths and just, kind of got so out of control and just like, I don't know. And then to a point, no one goes there anymore. And now Walmart owns it.
Yeah, did they come up with what they're going to do with that area?
No, but I will tell you what Monroeville Mall was good for. Last weekend or 2 weekends ago, their parking lot, so you could take the Pittsburgh bus into the city to see the NFL draft.
That's right. I remember you talked about that. Now that's really cool. I used to take the bus from Monroeville Mall when I would go visit my buddy Evan at Pitt. We would either go from like Trafford and get the bus there or Monroeville Mall and just park our car there. So I have a lot of knowledge about riding the bus into the city with that, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I'll just say it out loud. You told me the story before. Did someone hiss at you?
That was on the south side.
Okay, okay, no problems with this bus.
I was like brand new into Pittsburgh right out of high school when I was like, "Excuse me, hi," and the person turned around and went. And I was like, "Why did you do that?" I didn't understand. I didn't know.
Oh man. So something else I kind of like found out. I don't want to be jumping around a lot. Oh yeah, before I jump around to the next one, Monroeville Mall. The little history and story that I have with that place is that is the first time I went to a movie theater by myself. The
I
I
haven't been there since they opened that movie theater. I didn't realize they had one there.
Yes, they have a movie theater there, and basically I went there because I wanted to see Star Wars, Return of the Jedi, so I watched that by myself, and it wasn't even because, like, Carissa didn't wanna go, my wife, but just, like, I was in Monroeville, it was my day off, and I smelled the popcorn, and then it was just like, "Hey, I'm going in."
There you go. I've learned as an adult, you can walk into movie theaters, buy the popcorn, and just go home.
Yeah, you can just do that. It's delicious. You know what I mean? No one else does it better unless you go on like TikTok and they're like, you need to buy coconut butter or something. I don't know. It's just
Sure,
like,
you know what? Whatever. It tastes better when someone makes your sandwich for you, it just tastes better.
yes, I know what you mean. Did you have any facts about Monroeville Mall? Kind of while we're on it.
So I did a lot of research about a lot of different malls and did pretty much their opening dates is the biggest history I did, which they opened in 1969. So that's kind of cool. I have my memories of working at Dick's Sporting Goods behind there, and man, what a great time! What a time to be alive.
So, you told me a story that someone stole a treadmill. Go. How does that happen?
I want to say we were carrying it out to a car, or it was out there for pickup, and someone rolled up and just threw it in their car instead. I'm pretty sure that's how that went down because there's no way in this world that my 18-year-old brain clocked someone walking out of the store with a treadmill and just went, "Okay, that's fine."
And this is treadmills 10 years ago, too. This isn't like the fold up ones you see on TikTok. These are like the big ones that were like in boxes that were 700 pounds.
Yeah, but it's Monroeville. Anything can happen in Monroeville.
Yeah.
Um,
I also realized one of the earliest malls that were opened Or one of the younger malls is one that's actually dead. 5, Pittsburgh Mills.
Yeah, it's still alive. It's still kicking somehow, but it is definitely not what it used to be. I don't know if they're gonna tear it down or not, but oof, man.
No, I remember walking around it and just being like, it was creepy because it was just there's no second floor. It was just all long hallways and then just and I'm talking about like 8 years ago. So not like a well, that's a crazy long time ago, but like it was just kind of creepy. And it's surprising that like there's probably like a JC Penney still left there or something like that.
I think you're right. I think it's just like probably lids. There's probably a antique store, and that's like the sign that you know it's gonna be gone soon. I
Ooh,
didn't make
let
any
me go
notes
back
on
to
Pittsburgh Mills.
Monroeville. Let me go back to Monroeville for 1 second. There's a lids in the food court.
Yeah, there is.
How?
I feel like as far as malls go, I don't know about you, but me and my friends spent a lot of time at the Monroeville Mall. Like that was where we went to. I didn't start going to the Westmoreland Mall until you and I were in a band and we used to play at the hookah bar out back.
Yeah, which that is not a hookah bar anymore because that time has come and gone.
It sure has. What was that? 12 years ago? What a time to be alive.
Yeah. The other thing I kind of saw about like Monroeville Mall, I don't know what article had this or anything, but it says originally designed to function like an indoor town square. I mean, if you think about it, in that there's an outdoor section to it where they do have restaurants, a Barnes and Noble, a Red Robin. Uh, there's like that outdoor section. So it had potential. Like it was there. It's just, you know, ah, just didn't work out.
I feel like a lot of places had the intention of making it a place where people can come to and like have like a town square, but it's not what people wanted. Like when you look at like Cranberry Mall had the original intentions of being a mall, an indoor mall, and they turned into a strip mall. You know, and I feel like a lot of these places that closed down, like Greengate, Century 3 is still standing, by the way, as of what is it, May 7th, 2026. It's still up. It's not torn down, but they have no idea what they're doing with it.
Mm,
Have you seen anything otherwise?
incorrect. It is mostly torn down.
Did they really start tearing it down?
Yes, it is mostly torn down. There's like a
Oh.
corner left, and they took their sweet ass time tearing it down. They're just like the longest coffee break ever, and then they're like, "Let's continue."
I was
So
gonna like, it's been years since they did work on that thing.
yeah, it is being torn down as we speak. And I went into Century 3 one time, and I just remember that's the one that had like a little carousel in it, and that's all I remember from it.
You and I used to go there, but we wouldn't go to the mall. We'd go to the strip mall next to the mall and go to Quaker Steak and Lube.
Ah, Quaker Steak and Lube, one of the favorites. That was, if anyone remembers the episode of the Pittsburgh Food March Madness, that one ended up being taken out of the March Madness tournament, if I remember correctly.
I think it was an honor one.
It was an honorable mention. Yes. So, okay. And yeah, Century 3 Mall, it's pretty much almost gone. Monroeville Mall on its way to becoming a Walmart or a bike store. I don't know what it's going to turn into.
It's sad because the time of malls are definitely behind us now. I have a list of some that were at one point really famous malls, like Meadville. I kind of did like Erie and Meadville too, because there were giant malls in those areas, and
Yeah.
now they are torn down. Meadville had one 1976 to 2008. Erie had one, I think it was back in the 60s or 70s. Yeah, 61 to 94. One you and I would know, you may not know this, but the Washington, they had a mall and it just closed recently, like in the past couple years, Washington, Pennsylvania. So like, this is not something that is like from way, way long ago. There are malls closing right now.
Yeah, and Uniontown Mall for I've never really went into the mall itself, but basically when Rise Wrestling was holding events there, the roof was basically leaking all over the place, and they they moved out of there, and it's just Uniontown. It might be on its way. Also, I don't know how much longer, but One thing that I saw, there's a TikTok person. This is how I've been knowing this stuff. Has been going to all the malls in the Pittsburgh area and just like deeming if they're like turning into a dead mall or being an okay mall. Here are the two things he kind of mentioned, and I'm going to talk about two different malls real quick. One, he said that if you start to see uh, like comic book or trading card or like old retro video game places in malls, he was like, "Yep, that's the sign that a mall is dying." I was like, "What?" Like he said it seriously. Like if like the rent's so low that, I'm not saying like those people's businesses aren't interesting. They are. I always walk into them. But just like that's one thing he said which I found interesting. And then the other thing he said was he was visiting Westmoreland Mall and the fountains were still on. And he said, "Oh, fountains are still on. That's a sign that the mall is still alive." It's like, what?
I always think of it like this. If your mall or your business or whatever you're doing is in a place where people have steady income, Robinson, North Pittsburgh, Greensburg, Westmoreland County, you're going to have a lot of success. But whenever there's not a lot of steady income and there are people that are there to just walk around and not shop, Monroeville, Century 3, that's whenever that starts to happen. And that's a really good idea. That's a really good point that like if it's still being upkept, like the fountains are still on, yeah, it's probably still doing good.
Yeah, let's talk about the comeback of the century, which is Westmoreland Mall, which is not only becoming a great shopping place, but becoming a great uh location place, I guess. Like they were dying, admittingly, like a couple years ago, and then one of the big stores, like Sears moved out, Bonton moved out, and then they just said one day, "You know what we should do with this Bonton? We should open a casino." And they opened a casino in an old Bonton, and you walk in there and you go, "There's no way this used to be a Bonton. This is unfrickin' believable." Like, they got a restaurant in there, the Sports Social. I don't really gamble that much, but I mean, I'll just go and watch sports. And, I went there for the World Cup one time, and there was a big screen TV that always has a bunch of different little games happening. Only for that moment, they combined all the screens and made it into one big screen, and I was like, "Ah, ah!" Like, it was huge. Uh, there used to be a Guy Fieri restaurant there, but then that ended up moving out, and then now there's a new place called Manja by DeLello's, which has moved into that location.
Get out of here. Are you serious?
Yeah. I wanted to go check it out. I should have checked it out to have more content for today, but it looks like, they had a pretty successful opening and they had like some people from The Sopranos there to help open it and everything. It
Not
was
surprising.
crazy.
Man, I cannot believe they opened their own restaurant. That means that the food there is going to be amazing.
Well, when you come up and visit, because you're coming up soon, you got to check it out.
Yeah, I'll be up in a couple weeks for our Indy trip, which I'm very excited for. I hop on Google Maps every day and see if any roads closed for my ride up there.
You'll be fine. You'll be okay. Uh, Driving from North Carolina. What's the worst that can happen in 10 hours?
Yeah, thanks for that.
But Westmoreland Mall is the comeback story of the century. Like, the Chuck E. Cheese is still there. Like, if that's the case, like, they're doing something right. There's a Chuck E. Cheese there, Panera Bread. The inside of the mall, admittingly, needs an upgrade, like, badly. It's still stuck in the 90s or, no, early 2000s, we'll say. It's pretty beige. And they're the one thing that's going to be a huge improvement is they're building a House of Sports Dick's Sporting Goods there. And it's not built yet, but it looks incredible.
That makes sense. I mean, dude, that's just awesome. That's so great that there's so much stuff going on at that mall. Because you're right, it was really teetering. And now that what is the Dick's Sporting Goods thing? What makes it like what they're calling it?
So basically, they're just going to have, from what I was told, was, there's going to be stuff in there like rock climbing walls and just like I saw something on TikTok of like a guy trying to get shoes, and he stood on a thing, and it scanned his foot, and it showed, like, where you're putting the most pressure, and then
Oh,
they
yeah.
suggested what kind of shoes. I think there's gonna be, like, you know, what the heck is it called? With golfing, golf simulators, and there's gonna be, like, uh, hockey rinks and soccer fields, I think. I don't know if it goes that far, but it's gonna be pretty crazy.
That is insane. I love it. That's so amazing. That's like, Fleet Feet does that whenever you go in there, they measure your foot with the little scanning thing. That's where I got my Hokas, Fleet Feet. But anyway, I
Yeah.
digress. Awesome. That's great.
Yeah, Westmoreland Mall, it is stepping it up. But I only talk more about that because I go there a lot. But I mean, I practically work right next to there, honestly. But other malls, I mean, as we talked about, Ross Park is incredible. Um, I learned that South Hills Village is the reason why Century 3 was kind of run out of business.
They're not exactly close, but they're close enough, unfortunately.
Yeah. And I remember when I would travel for work, I was working at a basement waterproofing place, just putting door hangers on, and I would just go and just visit malls and just be like, "Let me just check them out. I'm here. Let's see."
Did you ever go to the Clearview Mall in Butler?
No, I have not. I don't really go to Butler that much, but I know you used to live on that north side of Route 8.
Yeah, they have a Ponderosa still.
Hell yeah. That's awesome.
Definitely a mall that is heading on the outs, but they do have like Ponderosa. They have a bunch of restaurants. They have what's the place you can go and buy little baby chickens, but it's all like farm equipment and stuff. They have one of those up there. I'll look it up later. It's all good. You guys listening, if you're from Butler, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But that was a cool little mall to walk around at. I guess there was another mall in Butler, but they tore it down and built a Walmart Plaza. So that's Walmart seems to like seek out old malls and go, hey, that's perfect for a giant Walmart.
Well, look where Greengate was. Greengate Mall was there. That was torn down, and a Walmart's there. Now Monroeville Mall's bought out. There could potentially be a Walmart there. We don't know yet. Um, I don't know. They're as crazy as Dollar Generals when they see a rural area. Like, they got to build one.
Oh, and by the way, I just found in my notes the Pittsburgh Mills Mall because it's actually pronounced the Galleria at Pittsburgh Mills
Oh,
in
that's
Tarentum.
right. That's right. That is the proper term for it. And I guess what we're talking about, the different kinds of malls and everything. What about the waterfront? Since that is an outdoor mall, technically. Like,
Man,
do
what? Go ahead, because I got opinions on that.
do you enjoy going there? It is about your opinion.
I love it. I absolutely love the waterfront. I think it is a great location for people to like have opportunities to work because it's right there in Homestead. Uh, it's easy to get to. I love that there's the Dave and Buster's. Everyone knows that's where the Dave and Buster's is at. We actually just got one in Wilmington, Dave and Buster's. We're pretty pumped about that. But like the movie theater, you go down there and it's like, oh, I'm going to get some dinner. I'm going to go see a movie. Maybe we'll go see a comedy show afterwards. The food is great. I just wish it was a little safer sometimes.
Yeah. And I have an idea of how to make everything connect together. Let me say my opinion real quick about the waterfront. I think it's an event, just like what you said. It's super cool that you can go down there. It's the only like IMAX theater that's in that area. They've added so many restaurants. Condado Tacos is no, I think that's is some taco places down there. Rock Bottom, I think it's closed, but Rock Bottom was
They
there.
closed all the rock bottoms.
Oh, okay. They closed all the Rock Bottoms. Dave and Buster's, and then you could walk around and there's shopping mall, like some stores that are like locally owned also. And then also, who can forget that the Improv Theater is down there to see comedy shows?
Yeah, there's so much going on, and there's a Fuddruckers, so you can get your burger fix.
Hell yeah. And so here is the plan. All right, Hershend Entertainment. I hope you're listening. I hope you're one of the 30 followers we have or something. Uh, Take Kennywood and connect it to the waterfront. What I mean by that is bus transportation that goes in between like Kennywood and the waterfront. Make it like a 2-day stay kind of place. They do need to build another hotel there though, because there's only 2 hotels down there, and they're both. I read reviews; they're not good, but they need to build another hotel there. Connect it all together, and you have yourself like a Disneyland in Pittsburgh.
Explain that to me. Like, so what is it in Disney that relates to this?
So let me explain. In uh, Pittsburgh, Kennywood is starting to become a bigger, more mainstream place because the USA Today came out with their reviews, and I think like Kennywood was number 4 in the United States according to them, and,
Okay, all right.
and like Phantom's Revenge was number 4 in roller coasters. I think of all places, guess what number 2 was?
I don't know.
I'll tell you, Knoebels.
Oh, I would have never guessed that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Knoebels?
Knoebels was number 2, and Knoebels had the number 1 theme park restaurant there too. So anyway, Disneyland has their downtown Disney district where they have a bunch of shops, restaurants, and entertainment. And then they have people that could go to the theme park. Kennywood, with them making their way up and now owned by a company that hopefully gives a shit, they they have their theme park. It's an amusement park, I know technically, but this award was voted best theme park in the United States. And they have their shopping, entertainment, and dining district as well. Do you see where the connections are all coming together, JJ?
I do. I'm actually going to do a quick Google Maps of Kennywood to the waterfront because I'm just interested to see.
It's probably a 5-minute bus ride away. I guarantee that.
Let's see. Waterfront.
Now look at my next notes while you take a look at that.
Dave and Buster's. Okay, here we go. It is, about a 10-minute bus ride.
I mean, well, if they could build it up, they could build it up into like a small entertainment area, like, I don't know, call it Kennywood Flats. I don't know.
You know what they could do too? So when you're looking at the map of the river, you got Kennywood here on the bottom part. You have the waterfront here on the bend of the river, and then up just a little bit, you have Sandcastle. There could be something there.
There it is, right there.
And
put it,
yeah.
Put it all together. That is an easy 2-day, possibly 3-day vacation trip. Build another hotel, make it like hotels you can stay at. You got the waterfront, the shop, dine, and eat at. Shop, dine, and entertainment at.
Pillage at.
Pillage at. You got Sandcastle, and you got Kennywood. Put it all together, Hershin. It's right there.
That would be like Kennywood World, and then Kennywood Land would be Idlewild.
Kennywood Land. Our wood is so big, it's a world.
Look at all of it. Look at it.
Look at the wood.
I mean, I know we're talking about Pittsburgh and malls and stuff. Idlewild, there is a lot of potential there. It's just a cute little place, though.
Don't touch that. You don't need to touch Idlewild because Latrobe is great. Idlewild's great. Don't touch it.
That's right. Leave the kids alone. Anyway.
Yeah. Speaking of dining, what's your favorite food court place to go to?
I was so hoping we were going to talk about this. Oh, thank God. I was so hoping you to bring this up. I am a sucker. Absolute reel me in immediately whenever they go free sample and it's at a Chinese restaurant right there. I'm like, done. That's what I'm getting. I'm going to get that every time.
It's the only kind of sales that's not pressure selling. You know what I mean? They're just like free sample. And that's it. That's the only thing they know in that language is just like free sample.
And you know what? Every time I've been to a bunch of malls and I usually get Chinese food when I'm there. With the exception of Charlie's cheesesteaks, those are really good too.
They are dangerously good. I don't know if they're expensive, but Charlie's Subs or Charlie's, whatever you want to call it, they did open a location in North Versailles, right where the old Kmart used to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the old Kmart is a storage unit place, but like right above, it's where the old Burger King was. It's no longer a Burger King. It's now a Charlie's Subs. So living dangerously, going outside the mall.
Dude, I love Charlie subs. I would still go Chinese food every time, but, what about you? Like, if you were at the Westmoreland Mall, let's not even look at the casino, let's look at the food court. Where are you going towards?
So typically it would just be the Chinese food. There's a Panera Bread there that's pretty good. Um, there used to be, so now it's a uh, Somerset Trust ATM. But before there was a Somerset Trust ATM, right there used to be a, a Chipotle there. It was called like Bulls Tacos or something, and that was pretty good. Um, but no one went there because there's a Chick-fil-A there also.
Huh.
So
Yep.
you know that
Uh,
kind of
Chick
wipes out a lot of business.
Chick-fil-A is I mean, it's Chick-fil-A. What more can you say?
Ooh, you cannot talk about mall food if you do not mention Annie Ann's or Pretzel Wetzel.
Or the Great American Cookie Company.
Ooh, yeah, cookies are pretty popular there. There used to be a Pittsburgh popcorn in Westmoreland Mall, and used to be a Subway also, but Subway sucks. So they closed that down, and it's a shame about Pittsburgh popcorn, but I don't think anyone can eat popcorn and have a sustainable meal that way.
Not quite. I mean, it's good snack food when you're walking around and stuff, but I don't I man, food court I'm trying to find the best way to say this. Whenever you go to a food court in a mall, you're not looking for substance. You're just looking for like something to try. I personally feel you go to a restaurant if you want to eat. You go to the food court if you're like, I'm gonna eat and then go shopping again. That's just my opinion. It could be like an appetizer for your meal later.
What do you think is better? Food court food in a mall, or the food court at Cabela's in West Virginia?
Mm. You mean Bass Pro Shop?
Oh, is it a no, no, it's
Yeah,
not. The one in Wheeling?
yeah, they closed. It's a Bass Pro Shop now.
Oh, damn. Now there's gonna be
But
people swimming in that thing with the fishies in it.
I will totally agree with you though. Like we've gone there before and had food. It's pretty good. It's not exactly terrible. It's absolutely Sodexo or some type of um like big company that provides the food. It's like that good like nasty food. Like the French fries, you're just gonna douse them in ranch or ketchup because you just want that taste. But you get more variety in the mall, so I gotta probably go with the mall.
Okay, so it's gonna be so Charlie Subs versus any Chinese restaurant. Like that is basically the two breadwinners there. Um, but I think one thing that could compete with it is it's only sold during Christmas time, though. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Are they of a roasted persuasion?
Hell yeah! Roasted almonds, roasted peanuts, roasted cashews, all that sugar, all in there.
Man, what an amazing time. And it smells so good. It smells like the holidays.
Yeah, and that's when the random pop-up stores come up and you know, the lotion people are out trying to sneak you into their booth to spend $500 on lotion. You know, and they all come out. Um, is your go-to shopping place during Christmas time the mall?
Not really. We have a mall here. It's called the Independence Mall, but not really. I go to either like a local place that's going to have like local Wilmington stuff. When I'm in Pittsburgh, I'll be honest with you, I typically shop online. So like, if it's not on Amazon, I'm looking for like home, uh, like stuff that is from Pittsburgh. People that are like small stores.
Yeah, I like supporting small businesses, but here's what kind of happens. You go into it. This is an example. I got Carissa an ornament this year for Christmas, and I went into a little local store, and it was like handmade ornament or something. And there was no price tag, but I was pretty sold on it. I was like, all right, if it's more than 15, like we're gonna put it back. And she went $22.
They are definitely a little bit more expensive.
Yeah, they are, but what are you gonna do? That's why it's hard. That's why it's hard for me going to like craft shows. I'm just like, I'll go to like Twin Lakes, and they'll have that festival happening at during 4th of July, and then I'm just like trying all their hot sauces and like all this, and they're like, you can buy some, and I'm like, huh? Like,
There's a place down here, it's a salsa joint, and they just go from place to place, and they sell salsas and, queso, but, you get, like, a little tiny thing of it, like, maybe, like, 4 ounces worth, maybe 4 ounces, and they're like, "Okay, well, you want that salsa and that little thing of queso. That'd be $27, please." It's like,
it's good shit though. It's really good though.
"It
That's the
is
problem.
good, but $27 for 4 ounces? Get out of here."
Yeah, honey is also like that too. Honey's tough.
Yes, I just bought a little thing of it. So it's local from Burgh, North Carolina, because I've read that if you eat honey from your local bees, you'll actually not have as bad allergies because your body will be more used to the pollens. And it
Oh,
was,
that's sneaky. That's a good idea.
yeah, it was $12 for a little thing of it, but I mean, I'm gonna feel a
Eh.
lot better. There was something I wanted to mention that I'm gonna consider it a mall, but I want to see what your thoughts are on this. The Pittsburgh Airport is planning on opening to the public. You don't have to have a flight, but you can go there and shop. I consider that a mall. What do you think?
That is a great question. I consider it the most expensive of all malls. It is.
But it's duty free.
What does that mean?
That means there's no taxes.
Oh, I didn't know that. Um, so the only thing that I could think of at the mall is when our flight was delayed in LAX and we got some vouchers. That's the
Yep.
only thing I could think of. We got like $12 vouchers and we bought a mug and it was like $30. It was just like, wow, there goes our vouchers.
That's I'll never forget Katie and I looking behind us and waving bye to you guys as we had to sprint to our plane to get to Washington, DC. And you guys just sitting there like, well, now what do we do?
Thank God I'm a travel agent now and I could like, sniff out like bad flights or anything. So, you know, sad to see Spirit go, but natural selection takes its place, I guess.
I mean, that just means Breeze Airlines can hopefully get a direct flight from Pittsburgh to Wilmington. And if that happens, it's on, brother.
Yeah. You know what also we found out? Frontier has a wild pass where if you pay $199 for a yearly pass, I think, at the last minute, you could just like pick a flight to go on and just be like, I want to go here. And you just go on the flight and you just go.
That is insane. I love it.
Yeah. I don't know how much I trust Frontier, but that's insane. Uh they're I was like pricing them out for fun and their luggage charge is 69 or $65 for under 40 pounds.
Why are you wearing 15 pairs of clothes? Don't worry about it. And don't fart.
Anywho, let me get back to the thing. Yes, I consider that a mall because, I'm now starting to realize, I always try to pick very short layovers, maybe like an hour or 2 hours. But sometimes, Mother Nature has different plans and you're there for 6 hours or 7 hours and you have to fill that time somehow. You got food. The only thing it doesn't have is entertainment. It's got food and it's got dining. Oh my God, I keep saying that. It's got dining and it's got shopping. It's not like exclusive shopping. There's a Lids there or like, a place where you could get new headphones. But, people who are on the road all the time, maybe that's their places. I don't know.
Oh, what's it? The Hudson News? That's a really big thing in airports.
Yeah, I always get excited when I see like the NBC News store or something. I'm always just like, ooh, that's like on TV.
I do like whenever you go to places like Miami or New Orleans, and the airport has like their version of like beignets or like Cuban sandwiches. When we were in DC, we had a layover and we got these things. I forget what it was, but it was like think of what's that stuff with the spaghetti and the chili on top? Skyline chili. Think of Skyline chili, but DC trying to make it famous.
Nice. So, okay, we will consider that a mall. But if anything else, do you have anything else about, malls or anything like that? I feel like we got a good amount of conversation out of this.
I enjoyed this conversation. No, I know you and I had a little bit of fun down here at Myrtle Beach at the Tanger outlets, and I hate to say it, but I think I preferred the outlets outside more than I do the inside malls nowadays. But they'll always have a place in my heart.
I am a man that can only take stuff 1 hour at a time, max 2 hours. So if I'm at a mall for more than 2 hours, I need to go. And that is exactly what happened at the Tanger outlets because it was Black Friday and it was crowded. So we hit our limit in an hour.
And it took us 3 hours to get our coffee.
Hmm. Don't mobile order Starbucks, guys, on Black Friday. Just wait in line. Or just don't
Yes.
get it. Just make your own coffee at home.
There is that too.
But yeah, I enjoyed this conversation. But overall, let's finish this off. Which mall, in your opinion, is not the best, but your favorite?
Does it have to be right now into 2026, or can it be at any point in time in history?
Any point in time.
Oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna have to go with the Robinson Mall because they had Sushi Bomb.
I'm glad you made that pick because my pick is obviously Westmoreland Mall because it has survived. It has lived, died, and lived again, and it is making its comeback. So those are my
I
pick, and I think best overall is Ross Park Mall. I already said that.
I do have good memories of visiting you at the mall when you were working at the couple stores you were there. I forget which one it was in particular, but I remember visiting you there.
Oh, we haven't even gone to that. I worked for Pro Image Sports. For people who
Ah,
don't
that's
know, For people who don't know, it was just a sports merchandise store, and that I was a part of the closing team that when it finally closed down. And now people might know it famously for it has a Pittsburgh Pirates like 90s or 2000s logo on the floor, not like laminated or anything. Like it was art. It's art right there on the floor. And now when you go to the mall in 2026 and you see the Pirates logo, you look up and it says peace, love, and whatever it's called now.
Is it Peace, Love, and Little Donuts?
No, peace and love. It's just a hippie store.
Gotcha. Okay. Oh, that's interesting.
No, it's not. It's it's like why? Why'd they move in there? But my quick history is Pro Image Sports, and I worked at the Disney store in Indianapolis, which that store also closed down as well because of COVID. And man, I will tell you real quick, when the news got out that the Disney store was closing down, because we knew internally, we were just like, hey, we're closing down. No, whatever. And then we told some people, and then it went out on like, allears.net or something like Disney closing down all these stores. Here's all the locations. The next day, not even before opening the little gate, the line of people was out the door and just people running in there and just buying all the stuff that's like, being liquidated basically.
I can't even imagine. Is that what they did with Pro Image too, or was it just Disney that happened?
So Pro Image Sports was interesting. It's been 10 years. I could talk about it now. They were basically just like, don't tell anyone we're closing, even though half of the merchandise is gone in the store. And I was still very young at the time, and I kind of left giant holes in the wall everywhere. Like, people would buy something and I wouldn't fill it in. And then like my old manager at the time came in and was just like, you and he just ended up condensing everything. And it didn't even come as a thought in my head. I'm just like, "Oh, I could have condensed everything." But they didn't want it to make look like the store was closing, and the store was closing and all the way up until the end, like till the last hat was there. It's just like, "Yeah, we're not closing."
The last can of Who Hash. No, we're fine.
Yeah. So, thought I'd give that quick history of my experience working in malls. I loved it, to be honest. I read every single Harry Potter book because that's how dead that Pro Image Sports store was until Christmas, and I liked working at the Disney store. I don't know why. I just really enjoy malls. That
Oh,
was just
oh,
my thing.
oh. You got me hooked on Annie Ann's frozen coffees.
Oh yeah, those were good at the time. I forgot about that.
Yeah, man, you got me hooked on those. I would get that and the mini pretzels, not the big one, but the mini pretzel bites. Forget about it.
Yeah, with cinnamon sugar.
Oh, did you get the dipping sauce too?
Yeah, of course I got the dipping sauce. The Annie Ann's place was right there. And of course, like on some days, I would run across the street and run across the mall and get change at like Hot Topic because I'm like, I'm out of quarters.
I'm just trying to make enough for beer.
But that's my quick history. But yep, that's why I like Westmoreland Mall. I used to work there. So anything else?
Yeah, just 2 seconds. They
Mhm.
had the Pittsburgh Marathon this weekend, and it looked like a lot of fun.
Yes.
Congratulations to Will Lovner. He's a Pittsburgh native who won the Pittsburgh Marathon this year. So huge success. He did it in 2 hours and 14 minutes, 50 seconds.
That's unreal.
And they interviewed him when he crossed the line, and he was like, "Yeah, that was a long one." It's like, yeah, no crap.
We do an hour to do it. I'm going to attempt a 10K, but like it definitely takes about an hour or so. But yeah, I can't imagine doing that in 2 hours. But I had the quick video. Someone had a flaming tuba, like a tuba, and it was blowing fire out. The Pittsburgh youth showed up and showed out for the runners during the marathon.
Incredible. I have, oh my gosh. Pittsburgh does the best. They do the most and the best of everything.
They do. But okay, well, I think we'll call it a day for the episode. Thank you for listening. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we're on social media, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, and TikTok. And I've been Chris,
I've been JJ.
and we'll see Yins real soon.